My family background, my mom, she did some school. My father also did some school. His highest level of achievement in school is high school, and my mom has completed some college courses and she has some certificates. Excuse me. Now, in terms of school for me, college was never the big talk. I was the person who kind of orchestrated that conversation, and honestly, it wasn't a dream of mine because I it was never talked about, and it was just like I just knew how to be a student. That was my my modus operandi. It was like I am a student. This is what I do. And so as a child, it was just always I know that she's bright, but what? What after this? So in terms of my condition, I got diagnosed with cerebral palsy at the age of 8 months old. And so for me growing up, it was like in my head, I didn't really realize the I wasn't like normal children. I was like, I'm gonna be outside with the rest of y'all. I'm gonna be jumping in puddles and kicking up like dirt hills, and I'm gonna jump on things and do things. And I was one of those kids. Now I got hurt a lot because I wanted to be very much like those children. And so, for when it came to college, my first inclination of college came from a different world. It really opened my eyes to okay, this is a HBCU. I didn't really understand, about PWIs, and my only view of college was okay. Different world is like this is how college is for you. This is what it's going to be like. And I was like, okay, so what about exams? I see these students and they're like, oh my God, I have these exams and I'm crazy. And I'm like 9 years old watching this. So my parents, they wanted to make sure that I had the best of everything, but they never integrated that, hey, college is something that you can do. In terms of family, it was very hard for me to get a good support in terms of how to navigate financial aid. When I wanted to go to school, my mom was like, listen, you want to go to college, you got to make it happen. And so I was like, okay, so how do we make this happen? And so her only advice to me was, don't take a student loan, it's a trap. And so I said, okay, well, how do we navigate around student loans? And eventually I did get the funding for school. I actually wasn't going to, I was actually going to defer a year for my master's program. And then I talked with Dr. Hargett, who was the chair of our program at the time, and she said, just come to orientation anyway. Just come. And I said, but I don't have funding. And she's like, just come anyway. And I said, all right, I'm going to come. I came. And she's like, well, we have referred you to a position called a HICA, which at the time I didn't know what it was. And I was like, what exactly is that? And what are we going to be doing? She explained to me what the position was and that they would cover funding costs for school. And I went in with completely no funding. I mean, zero money, you guys. Zero money. And so I'm like, okay, I now have funding. I have this entire team behind me that's backing me up. There were even times where I was walking on campus and I would be sitting in the hallway at the elevator, just like, oh, my legs hurt. I saw Dr. Howe come in one day and she's like, why are you sitting here at the elevator? And we had a little small conversation and I was like, I'm very tired, but I got to get up and I got to walk across campus. And she's like, oh no, we're not doing that. You're not going to walk if you don't have to. You're going to have to call someone. We're going to make sure that you get a ride across campus. And so my journey has been full of people who are like, "Oh no, we're here to help you. We are your team." For me, it has been quite a challenge because Morgan has been not the best in terms of accessibility for disabled students. And so it has been a bit of a fight to get back and forth to classes in terms of how I was going to be present in those classes. And so there were a lot of incidences where I missed class because there was something that was being worked on the campus and I couldn't access that part of the campus. And so I was very vocal in that and I wanted other disabled students to know like you're not by yourself. You do actually have a voice. You can speak up about these things and make the campus better for all of us. And so once I was about to graduate with my bachelor's degree. I went to a town hall and I spoke with Dr. Wilson personally. And I just let him know, like, it's no longer about me because I'm leaving now. I'm leaving now. So, but there are other students who are going to be coming behind me, and they're going to need that access. And if they don't have that access, there's no way that they're going to operate in their best selves as a student. And so we wanted to make campus better for them. He let me know that Morgan was going to make these changes, and he put me in touch with different people and different organizations. He even called the bus service, and he said, we're going to need you to pick her up at this particular spot, even though the campus buses don't run after 8. He kind of made those adjustments for me, and the bus would pick me up in those different areas and actually shuttle me across campus. And so I'm actually grateful for that. Um, during a time during my undergraduate degree, I got sick, and it was very hard for me to come into campus. My wheelchair was broken, and so I had to kind of transition to walking. Now, walking for me is very difficult, and so it takes out a lot of energy, and it actually puts a lot of pressure and force on muscles that usually don't get the attention. So it was like my body's screaming, but I have to make sure that I'm in class, that I'm there, because it is, it's pivotal to my success as a student. And so I said, okay. I missed work for a while. It was about 2 weeks. 2 weeks of sitting at home, and I was like, yeah, something's got to give. I got to get up and get out of here. And so I went, and I was like, okay, going to class. And my teachers are looking, and they're like, are you sure you're going to be able to do this? Are you sure about this? And I'm like, listen, I'm not sure about anything, but I'm sure about getting this degree. After I finish my master's degree, honestly, I plan to be an educator. I would love to teach sociology. That's my biggest dream. One, because I think that sociology is basically the blueprint to life, the functioning of life within our society. And so I feel like if other students know that you have these set tenets that can actually tell you the trajectory of your life and help you understand the trajectory of your life, it's a better understanding for you. It gives you clarity. And maybe you may not want to do sociology. Maybe you want to do something else. But sociology is ingrained in anything else that you would want to do. My name is Tania White, and I am a first-generation college graduate.